Good afternoon, folks. Thank you for joining me. Today we are playing Smite 2. Now, this is a video that I was very reticent to make, and that's because I have a lot of reservations about playing this game. Here's the backstory. I started playing Smite 1 back in 2018 with my wife. I am an old school League of Legends player, so the MOBA scene was not new for me, but it was for her, so this was really fun to just kind of get into a new game with her. She led the charge, and we've been having fun with it ever since. We still play Smite 1. All of that said, Smite 2 is. We'll have more to say about it after we're playing, but let's just say I'm glad they are in beta, that they are in early release, and this game is not finalized, because the fact that it is not finalized is probably the best thing I have to say about it. For now, let's go ahead and jump into a game. We got Arena 5v5 PvP. Let's do this. Alright, let's see what everybody picks. To be honest, I have no idea what the player base looks like anymore. I don't know if Smite 2 managed to pull in the majority of the old Smite 1 base, if the old Smite 1 base is still with the original game, or if we have an entirely new player base. I guess we'll find out. Alright, so we got a hunter, we have an assassin, and a mage. I feel like I should be going warrior or guardian. Let's go warrior, see how this goes. Maybe our fifth here will select a guardian. If not, maybe I can go like Geb? Another hunter. Okay. Let me go back here. Let me go guardian. Oh, you know what? Maybe even better. Let's go Chalk. A little bit more survivability. Chalk doesn't have as much survivability as a guardian, but he'll at least be beefier than Bologna. Player failed to select. Want want. Alright, I guess we go back into queue then.
Select your god.
Take two. Let's see. This time I'll try picking a hunter. Got an assassin, a mage. Looks like a warrior. I think that's I feel like it's Amaterasu, but I'm not positive. Yeah, okay, that looks like her thumbnail, especially with the coloration. Okay, it's not a terrible team comp. Let's do this. Two hunters and mage, warrior, and an assassin. If our Amaterasu builds tank, we might be okay. Let's see if our Cupid actually locks in here. There we go. Go on, enemy team. There you go. Oh, they went squishy. Alright, here we go. This is one of the first PvP games I have played. I have played a few in Smite 2, but, you know, it's still new enough that everything feels new. I'll also be curious to see whether or not people maintain some of the old play structure from Smite 1. For example, in Smite 1, when you play PvP Arena, you generally clear out the jungle here on the left-hand side before you engage at center with minions and the rest of the enemy team. But I've seen a few people deviate from that, so maybe the thought process has changed between games. I'm not sure. We got somebody hanging back at base. Oh, Cupid, who was last to lock in, is also apparently the last to buy. Maybe we've got somebody special. Or it could just be a really new player who has no idea what they're doing. Who knows? I'm gonna take this, thank you. There we go, Cupid's at least off the bench. Hopefully he purchased. Come on, Loki. Good job, good job. It's a good engage right there. Throw that out there. Connect with their Mordred. Oh! Good job, Ami. That was a nice little snipe. Alright, see, if I was smart, I would go back to base and purchase, but I feel like we could probably keep the pressure on for just a little bit longer. That was well done. So I started off on this video talking about how there were going to be a lot of negatives and that I had a lot of problems with this game, and that really isn't wrong. I do have some problems with this game. However, I don't really get to talk smack about it if I'm not willing to talk about some of the positives. The gameplay in this is a lot of fun. The sound effects are cool. However, I will say that the sound effect cues are kind of bad. They're, I don't know, not impactful.
Be right back.
It leaves something to be desired when I'm not 100% sure what's happening all the time. That's probably the best way I can phrase it. The sound effects are cool, but acting as cues and letting you know what's going on in the moment, they're not the best at that. Can we get Anhurt? Can we get him? Nope, I missed. Maybe we can get, there we go. Oh, brutal. Thought we could get Donza there too, but I guess not. Ow. Okay. See if we can keep the pressure on him here. Yep, let's get some minions in. There you go. Almost a whole wave. Got a whole wave of minions in. Score is 465 to 406. We are in good shape. We're not even 3 minutes into the game.
Be right back.
Let them know that I'm leaving. I feel like I should go crit. Crit would probably be the good move here. Ooh, he's not going to make it. Bye, Cupid. That sucked. Caught himself caught alone there. We got a Loki out here. I'm probably going to want to get some boards at some point. Maybe I can catch Donza here. There we go. I don't think I can kill Anhur. Nah. I'm not dealing quite enough damage for that yet. It'll be interesting to see whether or not these guys... Ow! Surrender. I should leave.
Be right back.
I'm not sure if the bull made it in, but I don't think it did. I'm being a little disjointed here. I'm trying really hard not to be a drag on my team since I haven't played this a ton. So my commentary is a little disjointed here. I apologize for that. Alright, Cupid's holding his own up front there. He doesn't want to get caught alone again. Our Pele is doing an awesome job, just like our Amy. And I threw that behind them. Not my mistake. What's up, Mordred? Somebody DC'd? I'm gonna catch Donza here. Bye, Donza. Double kill for me. Oh, I almost had a triple. So they had a DC. Who left on their team? They're Loki. He's gone. So one of the things in Smite 1, you could report players for, you know, leaving, for harassing, for intentionally feeding. There were a whole plethora of things you could report them for. And I know you can report players in this game, but I was really hoping the consequences would be more severe, especially for players who bail out. It used to be if you left, there was like a time penalty, like 3 or 10 minutes between when you could queue for another match. I feel like that should have been more severe. Like if you leave a game and it's not your internet DCing on you or something, you should be banned for like the day. You left 4 other people hanging. You were a tool who didn't want to stick it out. I felt like the consequences should have been more severe in this game. I guess time will tell whether or not that actually comes to pass. We're going to walk a whole nother wave of minions in, aren't we? Yep. Poseidon got the same thought I did. He's going to go clear out the wave. They're not even coming off the bench anymore. Not 2 of them are. Oh, okay. I was wrong. Maybe they were all just dead. What's up, Donza? Come on, bro. You can beat me. You can beat me. Guess not. We're just eating them alive. This is not a fair game. I wonder if this is really just a bad situation of poor comp mismatch, or maybe it's poor mismatch on the terms of player level, Smite 1 was actually pretty bad about pitting you against other players that were either way better than you or way worse. So you either got stomped or you stomped. I wonder if that's still a problem in this one. Matchmaking is not always great. I don't think that killed it. Oh my gosh, it did! Right on the edge. Right on the apron there. Don't engage with that ability, dude. Go, Amaterasu, go! Oh, couldn't save him. Sorry, Amy. I should actually get out of here. Go finish one of my items. The grass you can hide in is a nice touch. They didn't have that so much in Smite 1. They kind of did, but not really in Arena. If you wanted to hide, you needed like Marticarus grass to hide in. I guess you could kind of hide behind the little barriers for the jungle. But having the as a feature in Smite 2 for the same map is kind of cool. You want to go in her? I'm gonna die. Woo! Oh. No! Was that my first death? It was. Alright, good job. Good job, Mordred. Mordred? Whatever I said. Do my job here, clearing some minions. Ooh. They're gonna get stunned right here, aren't they? Ow! Right through the wall. Thank you, Cupid. Appreciate the thought there. It's tempting to stay in and hold out for a little bit longer, but I should definitely go. I need 1,700 for this? Okay, whatever. Another 700 gold shouldn't be that big of an issue, although the game might be over. Yeah, Ra actually knows what he's doing in terms of kiting. Good for him. My attack speed is still a little low. Yeah, 1.84. I'm not even sitting in the 2.0 category. I should probably fix that the next time I'm back at bench. Once I've finished my crit setup, I can focus a little bit more on attack speed. Yeah, go ahead and kill the bull. Mordred might be able to outbox me. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about Mordred's kit. I've played it a couple times, but I didn't really get a good feel for his abilities. Alright, let's do attack speed. Keen size is a little bit of a waste, and so is dominance. Guess the Executioner? Why not? Oh, our Pele's got top of the damage on the team. Good job. Ooh, taunted in by Danza. Good job, buddy. Let's see, we're just now at the 10-minute mark, which means they should be able to throw a surrender vote if they want to. Ra is really good with that snipe from beyond the curtain there. Emmy's in there mixing it up. Let's see if I can fix on Danza. Good job, Pele. Oh, poor Ra. Ow! Ow! Holy crap. That was almost my second death. Nope, gotta leave. Do that. Get a little bit more attack speed going. What else would be good? Bloodforge, why not? Look at a little bit of life still going too. I think Bloodforge has an active on it as well. I haven't looked at it too carefully, but I'm pretty sure it's not a passive ability. What's up, Mordred? How beefy are you, bro? Not beefy enough. Not beefy enough. I'm gonna die. I'm so gonna die. Nope, I missed. I canceled out Danza's ult by disappearing. Sorry, Danza. This game's almost over. 306 to 27. Oh, that's so rough. I'm probably going to report their Loki here at the end with them. Getting that kind of stomping is not fun. Ah, I totally whiffed that ability. Ow! Yeah,
That was great.
this is going to be over. I don't even think I'm going to get off the bench again here. It looks like there might still be an issue with item buying where it doesn't quite track the item that you were buying into. So it'll show a higher amount that you actually owe to complete the item than what is really needed because you already have a couple pieces of it or something. Alright, that was
Great. The battle.
over pretty quick. That was a just over 10-minute game, like 12 minutes or something like that.
Victory.
Oof. Alright, one positive for the UI is how this in-game menu looks. I do like this. So we'll say had fun. I like how this comes across where it immediately shows you your god mastery, how you leveled up or, got experience towards leveling up. It shows you what you got for the Wandering Market. You get a high level splash for what your scoreboard was. Okay, cool. You get to see what other people built. That Pele build is very reminiscent from what you would see in Smite 1. Let's look at the numbers. Another really cool feature of this UI for, in-game is it'll give you stars for where you shined. And you only get a star if you were the top across both teams. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I don't have any. Our Poseidon took top GPM, which is gold per minute. We have him doing the maximum damage or the top damage for jungle. Pele beat me by 3k for player damage. And who won in Minion? Minion, their Raw won. Okay. I didn't even get top kills, did I? Nope. Pele took top kills too. So the short answer is I did okay, but I did not do tops in anything. That's unfortunate. Okay, now that the game is over, let's talk about some pros and cons. Of course, we're going to start with the pros first. First and foremost, the game is fun. It is genuinely enjoyable. It's not so much fun when you're the enemy team getting stomped, but when you're the one doing the stomping, it's quite a bit of fun. Next pro, visually, graphics, awesome. The fact that this game is made in Unreal Engine 5 is cool, but in the end, it just looks cool. The scenery is fantastic. The gods look awesome. The visual effects are just... It's easy to take a look at what was in Smite 1 and then take a look at what is now and be impressed. And that's where I'm at. I'm impressed. All right, let's talk about a couple cons. The first con I kind of already mentioned, is about the audio engineering. The sound effects are cool. I like the sound effects. What I don't like is how they mesh into the cues. When you're not playing on a controller, you're playing on a mouse and keyboard like I am, you're very much reliant on your sound cues to know what's going on. Yeah, there are some visual cues, but they're less intense. The audio cues are what you're looking for to know when you're affecting something and when something is affecting you. While the sound effects may be cool, it is difficult for me to get audio cues. I don't always know when something is happening, and I don't really like that. Sure, I could tweak my audio settings probably a little bit more, get a little bit more fine about it, so to speak, but I shouldn't have to. The audio cues should be on point, and I feel like they've got a little bit of room to work with that. The next con is more on the business side and on the fan side, the player side. So let's talk about their model for, I guess, making money, their business model. When in Smite 1, they gave us this whole spiel about how they were going to give us legacy gems and it was going to help you purchase aesthetics and skins and stuff like that in Smite 2. Yes, they did that. Here's the catch. They jacked up the price for everything in Smite 2. So even though you get a discount with your legacy gems in Smite 1 or from Smite 1, Smite 2 is still really expensive. It is more expensive than Smite 1, and I'm frankly not okay with that. The next con is going to be what they did to the developers. Shortly after this game went into early release, they fired a lot of the developers, and they gave this whole big speech about, we're sorry this happened. We would have had to close doors otherwise if we didn't downsize. We decided to keep essential staff only, yada yada yada. And I'm sorry, I work in the IT world. I don't have any sympathy for that. The fact that you didn't have the money for it or you would have had to shut her up is not the fault of the developers. It's the fault of the leadership and the owners. If you were going to lose money and have to fire people, that's not on the developers you fired. That's on you. And I have a big problem with that. It also erodes the fan base confidence. If you fire developers, they're not going to have any confidence that you're going to be able to release awesome content going forward. And let's say the game blows up, maybe mid this year or the end of this year or sometime next year, this game blows up. You're not going to have the developers to continue releasing content for that new player base. And even if you do get developers brought on to try and fill that gap, they may not be the best talent because they know their job is tenuous. All the good talent moved on elsewhere. So their business model and how they treated developers, in my eyes, is a big con. No, it doesn't affect what we're doing today. It doesn't affect the game that we just played directly, but it definitely has an indirect effect, and it's a red flag in my opinion. Anyway, that's enough negativity. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, find a smile, and I'll see you for the next one.